Welcome back, fellow Dream Warriors, to Riderpiece Theater. Me, Alistair Dayhawk, and tonight, me proud to present Kamen Rider Zeztz, episode 18. So, this story starts off where we left off last week with Baku having a headache. He came close to fainting. I mean, he was about to faint and fall onto the ground. But then the rescuer, the potted plant killer, the crazy lady, caught him in time and offers him, her card in case, those headaches, are more occurring. But we all know that the crazy lady is after Baku because, in reality, she's really after Zero. Zero is nowhere to be found. So what's the closest thing to getting to Zero? Baku, of course. But in any case, the crazy lady leaves. Baku is, all right. And then next thing you know, he gets a phone call. He assumes that it's Zero reaching out to him, but it wasn't the case. He hears somebody else's voice behind the line. So, we start this episode with Baku entering his spy room and sees emo Alexis Lee that looks like he hasn't slept in months. And he introduces himself as Agent 3. And also he says that he's going to be his, commander from now on. And, Baku asks, okay, that's great. Where the hell is Zero at? And of course, emo Alexis tells Baku that Zero is nowhere to be found. He's unavailable. Maybe he's repairing his new robot body somewhere. Guys, I just hope to God this is not another Fuga incident, because for those who've seen and suffered through Garchart 2 years ago, right? I was at the end of every single episode was where the hell is Fuga at? So apparently at the end of this episode and from now on, I'm gonna ask all of you, be where the hell is Zero at? But I think I know why Zero doesn't reveal himself, because I get this feeling that Zero is in hiding from not only from the crazy lady and Nox, but also from his own team in Code. So why else would he be hiding? He should have just revealed himself in this episode, right? But no, he is pulling a Fuga, and I just hope this is a better version of the Fuga incident, but I don't know, man. Right now, Zero is in hiding, and I just nah, man. Nah. I'm guessing that he is building up his new robot so he can just remote control it and be hey, Baku, I'm okay. Look at me. I'm back, only with a new robot body and blah, blah, blah. But the real me is safe somewhere. Where, you may ask? I can't tell you. Yeah. But Baku, unsatisfied with the answer, because he's okay, well, can you tell me, the secrets of Code? Because Zero promised me, if I complete the mission, which I did, I was to learn all about Code, every nook and cranny. I just want to know their secrets because that's what I was promised. But of course, emo Alexis was laughing it off. Are you serious? I can't believe that Zero will give you, Code secrets and all that. He was laughing at it, brushing it off and whatnot. And that causes Baku to be very upset. Dude, this is serious. This is no laughing matter. But he gets greeted with a knee to the stomach, and he becomes unconscious. And emo Alexa says no talking back, complete your mission and whatnot. So already their relationship right now is very rocky, and I get the feeling that Baku's, by the end of a couple of episodes, he's can I find somebody else? Can I get somebody else? Because I can't work with this guy. Like, he looks like he hasn't slept in months. He looks like he is emo. Like, why Agent 3? Why not Agent 4? Oh, we know why. Agent 4 used to be Nox, right? And Emo Alexis mentioned, like, yeah, I mean, after, Nox's betrayal, the hierarchy has been effed up, so I have to assume the role, even though, like, maybe Agent 6, 5, 4 has to be the ones to take over, but no, everything falls down to me, I guess. Yeah. So, bad rookie start. Yeah, this is... Baku's not going to last with this guy at all, but something tells me he's going to be the villain that Baku has to defeat, because, again, leaning back to Zero should have just revealed himself with a new robot body or just in his human form. But the reason why he is in hiding speaks volumes, because not only, like I mentioned before, the crazy lady potted plant killer is after him, and Code is corrupt, so I'm guessing that everything that Nox told Baku has to be true, or else he would have just returned to Code and everything will be hunky-dory, and he will be like, hey, I'm okay, I'm in Code, I'm still gonna give you your missions, I can't reveal myself just yet, and I'm rebuilding my robot body right now, so I'm okay, but I'm going to give you missions as usual. It's just I'm not going to be there like usual. But I'm just getting this feeling that it's going to be a Fuga thing all over again. Hopefully Yuya will do this right, but I don't know about that. I don't know about this at all. But that's just my theory. So, you get to the next scene. Baku wakes up after the knee kick to the stomach. He feels the pain, and he wakes up in dreamland, and he is a student in a school. And he all of a sudden sees teacher Nem, and, the pain immediately goes away, and he starts flirting with his teacher. And then, lo and behold, Scully is in this dream too, and she's like, dude, like, stop flirting with the teacher, can you just start class already? So apparently Baku in this dream is like the head student of the class, so I'm guessing that he is head student number 7 because remember, everything plus 7, yeah, he doesn't mention it, but I get the feeling that he's going to be called head student number 7. But in any case, Agent Scully is telling Baku, like, stop flirting with the teacher, let's get this class over with. And then he turns around and approaches Scully and calls her by her real name, but of course she tells him, like, you're not allowed to call me by that name. And then Rita from King Oger is in this episode. There was news going around in social media that apparently that the actress who played Rita from King Oger is going to be not a guest star, but a permanent character in Zeztz. So looks like she's going to be like the third Kamen writer, especially what we learned from her at the very end of the episode, for those who already seen it, which I hope you guys did. But in any case, Rita is there and tells Scully that, hey, just ease off, it's okay, you can't be all serious, just let him use your real name. But in any case, Baku starts the class, and does the thing, and then Nen leaves, and then we see the mission is to defend your comrades, and of course Baku says, I'm on it, good luck to me. That's what he says, because Zero is usually the one that announces, the good luck and says the title of the mission and blah blah blah, but Nem is the one who says defend the comrades, and then Baku ends it with, I'm on it, good luck, to me, and then that's how that ends. And then we go from the opening credits to the crazy lady's garden, and this is where Nox is telling the crazy lady that if you're going after Baku, his mind, well, him in general is not like the other agents. His mind is not going to be easy to break, and after the first encounter with him, the crazy lady says, well, I know based on what I saw in him just for the first glance and all that. And she adds, like, once his mind learns about all the darkness of code, wouldn't it be fascinating to see how it breaks? So I'm guessing that the crazy lady maybe is interested in having Baku on her side. Like, can you imagine Nox and Baku fighting side by side under the crazy lady's wing? I mean, they could be unstoppable. But, we all know that Nox is a double agent. I think he's with the lady for his own personal interest, not because it's not based out of loyalty. It's for something. And eventually, Nox is gonna join the good side, and and blah 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 blah. We all see this coming. He's not gonna stay with the crazy lady for very long. But in any case, so the crazy lady's goal is to break Baku's mind in the hopes of the nightmare taking over, or for her to convince him to join her. I have no idea. And then she presents Nox with a red capsim, and then we get to see, the birth of a new nightmare, and that's it. We go to the next scene. I recognize that gymnasium from somewhere. I think I've seen it I believe in Gov. Like, that gymnasium, like, I've seen it in Gov, but I don't remember in any other seasons. But definitely Gov. I could be wrong, guys. Guys, is it the same set that Rikita and Shoma played basketball last year? Is that the same place, or is it a different area? But I'm guessing it's the same, gym. But we get to see Scully playing basketball with Rita, and then we get a Baku and Nem scene as they are looking at the girls playing basketball. And Baku tells Nem about his new mission, and he thinks that Scully could be the dreamer. Why else would she be, in the dream, right? Next thing you know, after the basketball thing, random objects appeared on people's hands, and you notice that Rita has a gun, and I think Scully had a steel bat, and other people had other random stuff, and people were staring at each other and being like, what the hell is this? So and then all of a sudden, we have a nightmare that shows up on stage, which, by the way, that stage, once again, looks familiar. I think they shot it in Forza, and I think in Guard Chart. I could be wrong on that, too. But, yeah, a lot of recognizable, areas that I'm like, hey, I've seen it before in Garchard. Hey, I've seen it in 01 and blah, 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 blah. But in any case, this nightmare shows up, announces its presence, and tells everybody, hey, you want to play a game? So he ends up pulling a Saw thing or a Denkin Rampa, because Denkin Rampa. He is announcing to everybody, hey, let's play a game. It's a death game, and the rules are simple. You win by killing me. You lose if I kill ya. Simple, right? Plain and simple, right? And then all of a sudden, the nightmare goes all crazy, destroys the gymnasium. Luckily, Baku used the barrier capsule to protect everybody, but, the nightmare says to Baku, like, hey, that's nice. I mean, but how long are you going to keep protecting everybody? Because you can't be everywhere. And, he leaves. And then, Baku turns to Scully and Rita and Nim and all the rest of the students. Baku tells everybody, don't worry, I will protect you guys. I will deal with the monster. Don't panic. Everything's going to be okay. And then, you see Rita, looking at the gun, and she's like, hey, we have to fight in order to survive this because I don't see a way out here because the rules are set. If you want to win, survive, we have to kill this monster. But looking at the objects that have been given, there's no way in hell that they can kill a nightmare. I mean, a gun, maybe a steel bat, but even still, like, you're facing a supernatural monster here. Like, the only way to defeat a supernatural monster is by the powers of a Kamen Rider, right? That's where Baku, comes in. But in any case, give it to Rita. She's like, no, I'm gonna be the one to kill it in order to, for me to survive, but also everybody to survive. And then all of a sudden, we get to the next scene with one of the mine doors opening up. There are 3, and it opens with, Rita holding the gun and the gymnasium in pieces. And so we go to the next scene, but not before Baku is once again telling everybody, I will protect everybody from this monster. I guarantee it. I will protect you. And all that. So Baku returns to the real world and talks to Scully about, the dream that happened. And she asks, like, how do you know that I was a part of a basketball team? What's going on? And Baku says, like, I infiltrated your dream. That's how I know. And then, Mulder steps in saying that it's a black case. And Mulder asks, okay, what is this dream about? Well, before that, Mulder shows Baku a picture on his phone with a page of a yearbook. And if you notice on that picture, some of the students are missing. And this is where Mulder asks, okay, tell me what this dream about. Like, what is this nightmare after? What's going on? And Baku explains that, okay, in this dream, this is a death game. If people die, if they lose, blah, 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 blah. It's like kill or be killed situation. The only difference is you have to kill the monster, not each other. And so, knowing that, Scully goes on a panic. She runs out of the office. And then we quickly go to the next scene with Scully, Scully approaching her old high school and sees an old friend in Rita. She is taking pictures. And, Scully hasn't seen Rita in a long time since after they graduated high school. They have a brief talk. And Rita is not a journalist now, and then Rita leaving Scully, just standing there, and we get to a flashback where, the 2 girls made a promise to each other that they want to go to the same university together and play basketball together. So I'm guessing they were after like a basketball scholarships or something. But then for some reason, Rita says, look, I know we made a promise to each other, but I'm interested in doing something else. And she apologizes to Scully and she ends up leaving. And we get this, this typical Mulder, I solved the case. And Baku's like, what, already? And he states, Scully and Rita have a falling out from high school. Those regrets from your high school days led you to dream about the attack on your school and blah, 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 blah. So I've solved the case there. I'm like, and of course, Mulder's, I solved the case things turns out to be wrong anyways. So I'm like, okay, yeah, just, we all know it's going to turn out wrong. any case, Scully goes on a bit of a panic, thinking that, oh my god, if I'm the dreamer, then this whole thing is my fault. But Baku assures her that it's not your fault. Relax. What I can do is to protect your high school friends, okay? Just relax. Let me do the hard work here. Just relax, don't panic. So Baku in the next scene returns to Dream World, and you see, Baku on top of the school building, and then you see the students, they made a barrage. They're barricading themselves full of chairs, holding their weapon in hand because you see them all scared. And Rita, is determined to fight this monster as she's holding the gun. And then we transition back to Baku, who is still on top of the school. And he's like, come on, Mr. Nightmare, come out. Come out, let me face you now. Come on, I'm daring you. And it does come out, but not facing Baku. He's at the school killing kids while destroying the school. And we get a scene where two girls are in hiding, and then next thing you know, the Nightmare is behind them and says, like, do you really think that hiding from me is gonna beat me, and blah blah blah. And you hear screaming in the next room. And so the school goes into chaos. The Nightmare is killing everybody left and right, destroying everything in its path. And Scully runs into Teacher Nem and tells her that, hey, Rita is going after the Nightmare. And so, speaking of Rita, we go to the next scene. She sees a sea full of corpses, what looks like to be some kind of culinary class, because you see a lot of cooking stuff, you see sinks and whatnot. And then all of a sudden her brain is starting to hurt. And she is wondering, wait a minute, why have I seen this before? Like, what's going on here? And then we go to a transition to the mine doors, and the second door opens up, and then Baku shows up, and then Rita all of a sudden starts to call him Seven. And Baku was like, what the hell? How do you know that I'm Agent 7? What's going on? And then the monster pops up, and then Rita all of a sudden says, wait a minute, this can't be real. This is my dream. Like, what is going on? And this is where, the truth comes out that Scully wasn't the dreamer after all. It was actually Rita. Rita is the dreamer. And so, the Nightmare is daring Rita to pull the trigger, which she does. But, the Nightmare ends up doing a Darth Vader. So he just captures the bullet and just swung it back at her, which she successfully dodged. And then Baku steps in, transforms into Zeztz Dream, and he goes on the attack. We see a fight scene between the two. And then in the middle of the fight, Nox shows up and asks Rita, like, does anything look familiar? And then Baku turns around and be like, what the hell? Like, Nox, why are you here? What's going on? And then Nox responds with, well, it's a game after all. Why not slow down and enjoy it? And then he transforms into Kamen Rider Nox, and he goes after Baku. We see another fight. And then the Nightmare sees this opportunity to attack Rita while Baku is getting distracted by Nox. But of course, due to Baku's quick thinking, he uses the barrier once again to protect Rita from being attacked. But it doesn't last very long because Nox is using the new red capsule to turn his arm into a shotgun and ends up destroying the barrier. Not only that, the impact of that shot knocks Baku to the ground, causing him to to drop the capsum barrier, which once again Nox steals another capsum, because remember the first time he stole the recovery, now he steals the barrier. And he leaves with he says something about, the one who forgets will remember the darkness of code, and he leaves with the nightmare. And it's cool how the way he just grabs, he grabs, he walks and he grabs the thing in front of him like a curtain, and Nox and the Nightmare disappears together. And then we approach the last scene of the episode where Baku asks, like, wait a minute, I think we know each other. And I'm not talking about like right now. I think we know each other from years ago, back in the cramp school. You are an agent of code, aren't you? And then Rita responds with, yes. Dun dun dun. So apparently Rita is a former agent of code, and that's how the episode ends. So yeah, I get the feeling that Rita got her memories wiped. By who, why, we're probably gonna find out next Sunday. Was I shocked? No, because social media always kills things. I wish they don't reveal all that important stuff, but it is what it is, right? But, Rita's actress, it was announced that she's going to be a part of Zeztz, and maybe she could be a Kamen Rider, the third Kamen Rider. We don't know for sure, but most definitely I think it's going to happen. But right now it's all about, okay, who is this agent? Why is her memories erased? And how does Nox know her? Which we all know that, he was the teacher at that class, the special class and whatnot. But in any case, I think that is it. Baku once again loses another capsule to Nox, but he could always get another one, right? Let's see, Emo Alexis. I wouldn't be surprised that Baku's gonna be driven insane by this guy. He wouldn't like to be ordered around by this guy, because I wouldn't like to have, Emo Alexis order me around either, because, already he is like an asshole. He's all about, you have to follow orders no matter what or else. And then, we know that, Scully used to play basketball, and she was about to go to a university, maybe with a basketball scholarship. And not yet. And Crazy Lady is after Baku now. And yeah, I think that is it, guys, unless I missed anything, which, by the way, if you've seen the episode, which I hope you guys did, just leave in the comments below, like, did you like the episode? Did you dislike the episode? And if you did dislike the episode, what would you do to change it? If I miss anything, even though I have my notes in front of me, I may have missed a couple of things here and there. You never know. Give a like if you like it, and please subscribe. And give me your thoughts and opinions about Nox and Zero. Do you think that the reason why Zero is not appearing in front of Baku is because everything that Nox says about, code being corrupt is true? Do you think? Or is it something else entirely? Why do you think Zero has not appeared before Baku yet? And in terms of the Crazy Lady, why do you think she's after Baku now? Which I assume the reason that she is after him is because it could lead him to Zero, which, Zero will be in hiding. I don't think he will reveal himself if Baku is in trouble, because look what happened with Nox and how he left them to die. So I don't know. Could Zero be much of a dick? But I don't know. It's just with Zero right now, I just don't like him at all, because to me he's such a douchebag. But I prefer him over Emo Alexis any day of the week. But yeah. Give me your thoughts and opinions about why Zero hasn't revealed himself yet, and why do you think the crazy lady, the product plant killer, is now after Baku. And yeah, I think that's it, guys. Give a like if you like it, and subscribe. And I'll see you all on the other side of Oblivion. Johnny.